Why ArtStation won't get you jobs. If you think uploading to ArtStation is the golden ticket to studio job, you're about to be disappointed. What we will talk about, viewers will learn why simply posting on ArtStation rarely leads to real opportunities and what actually works instead. Who am I? My name is Dwayne Elahie. I'm a CG Supervisor, been in the industry for 20 plus years, been mentoring for 15 plus years. Many of the people I've mentored and helped, hundreds of them now have a $70K plus in annual salary. These are the studios I've been at EA, Electronic Arts, ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, Pixar, Disney, Sony ImageWorks, DreamWorks. We haven't met yet, but you've met my work. If you look on my IMDb page, you'll see the projects I've worked on, such as the Netflix The Witcher, The Hunger Games. I've also worked on James Cameron's Avatar, been the CG freaking supervisor for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, TMNT, Mutant Mayhem here, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs franchise. May have also seen these films and TV shows, K-pop Demon Hunters, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Marvel projects such I've worked on the first Iron Man franchise, A Secret Invasion, which is on Disney Plus. The network worked with Netflix as well. The Witcher, The Hunger Games as well, the franchise, James Cameron's Avatar, and a lot of these things you could check out. Also worked on in a lot of games, which is not listed on IMDb, but you can see those in different listings. So now, let me get into the 3 reasons why ArtStation alone won't get you a job. First of all, it's an oversaturated platform. There are literally thousands of artists who post daily. Recruiters do not sift through endless portfolios. I've known because I've done it for my own company, recruiting for my own company and for major companies such as EA and other studios where I been through the hiring process. We do not go to ArtStation and look for people to hire by looking at their portfolios. Number 2, passive exposure doesn't equal active opportunity. So passive exposure does not equal active opportunity. What that basically means is that if you just put something out there and hope someone will see it, it's not likely without you doing some type of work to help promote yourself. ArtStation is good, don't get me wrong, but it's more like a gallery, right? So jobs come from networking, referrals, and targeted outreach. You coming with a purpose and deliberately trying to create connections or deliberately trying to get a job. ArtStation is great. Again, it's a gallery, but it happens to be a place where you host your work. In the past, a lot of people in this industry used to host their work, and some still do, on Vimeo. So after you've done your networking or got referrals or targeted outreach, and they said, okay, let me see your work, you would then direct them to where to find your work. And the reason why Vimeo was done, one, in the past, Vimeo was able to do high quality video, HD video. These are the earlier days when YouTube couldn't do it. But more importantly, you could actually put a password on it. And the reason why is that once you start working in the industry, your portfolio is the actual works you've done. And a lot of times, the work you've done is not available to the public yet or haven't been announced yet. So there's certain information that wouldn't be publicly facing. So you wouldn't even put it on ArtStation. So you would actually put it behind something like Vimeo, where you have your video reel and you actually put a password with it. And then recruiters, this is well known in the industry. Recruiters, a lot of times when you apply for a job, they ask, well, where could we find your portfolio? What's the password? And that's the reason why. That's actually pretty common. When you are starting out, you probably don't have password protected material to work with. ArtStation is great, mainly because it's a free gallery where you could host things, and you still can actually direct people to it. It's just that is the byproduct of actually doing your networking, your referrals, and target outreach for them to request it. In the past, again, you could either put it on Vimeo or you host it on your own website. It doesn't really matter. But just posting it on ArtStation doesn't get you the job. right? And number 3, studios want proof you fit in pipelines. They care less about random uploads. They care more about tailored reels and portfolios, meaning this is what we're looking for on their job description, and could you show us relevant work that fits the job description that prove that you could fit in our pipeline and get that job done. So if you just show them nice pictures out of context, it doesn't necessarily mean, okay, that's great. How does it solve our current problem and of filling the role? And you giving reels and portfolios relevant to what they're looking for is how you do that. And a lot of times you could curate that, put it on your own website or host it, and just having random pictures on ArtStation doesn't necessarily solve that problem. So you mainly want to show that you can handle their workflow by showing relevant work. Quick heads up for all you 3D artists watching this. If you've been grinding away at tutorials and YouTube videos but still feel stuck, I've got something special for you. I'm hosting a 3D character rapid bootcamp workshop where I'll walk you step by step through the exact skills studios actually hire for. It's not theory. This is the stuff that got me hired and working in the industry. If you want to finally build a portfolio that gets callbacks and interviews, hit the link below and grab your spot. Seats are limited, so if you're serious about going pro, this is your chance. To recap, ArtStation is a showcase, not a job generator. Jobs come from building relationships, showing studios exactly what they need. And the next step, instead of waiting to be discovered, create a tailored portfolio and put it directly in front of recruiters and hiring managers. So I'm actually have in my courses, specifically with the one we've been doing now, it's a coding based one, but it is coding for 3D graphics or, for artists and whatnot. And part of that, we have a section on how do you actually reach out to recruiters and hiring managers to get a job, because this is relevant to pretty much any industry, because just putting out just responding and sending your resume is like the least effective way to get a job. You have to get noticed, and there's a way to do that. And building out network, as we mentioned over here, it's really important. This is why it's really important to have network referrals and targeted outreach. And I understand what you're probably saying at the beginnings, where I'm just starting out, how do you build these things? Again, being active, getting exposure, being actively putting yourself out there and building your own brand helps you get seen. You can watch our other videos to see how that exactly works. And our bonus tip here, ArtStation is good, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it's not, don't expect to put things out there on ArtStation and then all of a sudden you're gonna get a job. With the whole, like the movie Field of Dreams, build it and they shall come. That doesn't work in real life. You could use ArtStation as a portfolio backup and a credibility piece. So if people ask, okay, well, you can show it ArtStation. They go, okay, cool, they could see it, right? But always send a curated portfolio link to the applications. So when you're applying for a job, see what the job requirements are and make a portfolio and send them work relevant to what they're looking for. And that's not always ArtStation, where you just say, hey, look at my ArtStation. And especially if you're dealing with a recruiter, they might not be as well versed in the industry as a professional in there who's actually going to hire you or look at your work and see if you're going to be a fit for the team. But if you cannot pass, recruiters usually have a specific task, and they look for certain specific things or keywords or certain parts of a portfolio. And if you give them just an ArtStation portfolio without being curated and showing exactly what they're looking for, they're going to think, okay, well, this doesn't match what I was told to look for, so therefore it's going to be a pass, and they're not going to look at your application. That's why it's very important to look at what the job description asks for and then send them a portfolio specifically showing that, because if you want to get past recruiters, they're just basically checking off boxes because they're not the subject matter expert in that field. So that's another thing very important to understand. before you get to the person actually hiring you, the real person who's going to give you the jobs, who actually knows the subject. You have to get past someone like a recruiter who don't necessarily know the subject. Most likely they don't, and they're just looking for a checkbox. Very important. And the biggest mistakes to avoid: don't sit back thinking, if my work is good enough, they'll find me. No, that mindset keeps talented artists invisible. And you see it all the time, where I'm pretty sure you know many artists who say, well, I'm so much better than this person, but this person gets all the opportunity because they're actively out there making themselves known and say, hey, I could do this. And people are like, when they think of, okay, I need someone who is able to do this, they think of that person because they said so. They made them visible. If you want to be considered for that as well, they're not going to find you. You have to make yourself known. So what are your thoughts? Leave your opinions and comments down below.